NBC Sports Group.
The ceremonies that have become such a huge feature here at Citizens Bank Park, and even Veterans Stadium before, the Wall of Fame ceremonies. This year, the inductee is the first tie to this great ballpark. It's Mike Lieberthal, as Kevin Stocker pulls the drape off the top of Mike Lieberthal's plaque. And then Levy not only giving a beautiful speech in front of this near-capacity crowd, getting a chance to hold one of his two boys here at this ballpark, but then taking the victory lap. This after seeing Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, and Pat Burrell all come out to help honor him tonight. It's game one between the Phillies and the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Sarge will be around in just a little bit. So will Murph. Mike Lieberthal, the first tie to this ballpark as a player, inducted into the Wall of Fame tonight.
Yeah, it was nice to see Mike back out there, you said, with his sons, and so much talent standing on that stage as he walked out there to join them, and then joined by guys like Chase and Jimmy Rollins, and Pat Burrell came out there. This is always such a fun night. Tomorrow night also, Tom. And Mike Lieberthal had a really good career here. He talked about him being 155, 160 pounds when he was picked by the Phillies. Third overall in 1990. Put up some really good numbers while he was here. He's a two-time All-Star. Won a Gold Glove back in 1999. And he was introduced out there by a guy who was as good a catcher as this town ever had, too, Bob Boone. So that ought to be a nice thing for Mike to have Booney introduce him like that.
Yeah, that was a great touch. I thought an even better touch was when Burrell, Utley, and Rollins came out to present him with his own portion of the plaque, which is out here at the Wall of Fame. So a great night here at the ballpark. We'll talk to Levy a little later on. Tonight, it'll be game one between the Cardinals and the Phils. Roy Halladay on the mound for the Phils, and he'll be opposed by right-hander Kyle Loche. On paper, this is a heck of a matchup to start this three-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. The lineup cards have been exchanged at home plate. It is Alumni Weekend. Bo's back in town. So is Dick Allen. There's Tony Taylor. We'll be back with the starting lineups in the first pitch for tonight's ball game when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phils. And by Independence Blue Cross. We're creating a more coordinated healthcare system that is built around you. Independence Blue Cross, changing the game. The stadium one more time as he thanks the fans, thanks the organization for not only this night, but what was a heck of a career for Mike Lieberthal that spanned 13 years here with the Phillies. Actually 17 overall, counting his time in the minor leagues. The folks at Toyota sponsoring tonight. They also sponsor the Wall of Fame. You saw their logo out there, and there's the plaque for Mike Lieberthal, part of this Phillies organization, as we said, for 17 years. And he goes right next to John Kruk, who was inducted last year in the Wall of Fame. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the St. Louis Cardinals. It's brought to you by Xfinity. You're a home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, John Jay. Alan Craig, the first baseman, bats second. Matt Holliday third, then Carlos Beltran and David Freese. Yadier Molina is the number 6 hitter. Daniel Descalso, the second baseman, bats seventh. Vercall is down at the 8th spot. He's been there for a couple weeks, and Kyle Loesch will bat ninth. And they'll face Phillies right hitter Roy Halladay, who's coming off one of his best outings of the year. In fact, it could have been his best outing since opening day. 5 and 6 overall with a 4.02 earned run average.
Yeah, the last time you saw the St. Louis Cardinals, his season was pretty much put on hold. That was the afternoon he had to come out with his shoulder was bothering him after 2 innings. He missed a couple months, and now is back. And as Tom said, that last time out was really good. As you put on there, his arm angle evidently is a lot better. His ball had tremendous movement. He really looked like Roy Halladay in his last start.
See his career numbers against the Cardinals. He had that epic Game 5 matchup with Chris Carpenter last year in the National League Division Series. If not for a first inning run, that game might still be going on, the way those two individuals were pitching against each other.
Well, it's time now for a Nissan Keys to tonight's game. Warm, humid, supposed to be okay with the weather, so let's get after him on a Wall of Fame night. Well, Kyle Loesch is as good a pitcher as the National League has right now. You have your work cut out against this guy tonight. And also, this is the best offensive team in the National League. The St. Louis Cardinals, they find themselves, though, in 3rd place in their division because 2 other teams, the Pirates and the Reds, are playing a little bit better.
Yeah, who would have thought the National League Central has turned out to be one of the best divisions in baseball? John Jay will lead it off for the first pitch of the night. He's a sinker taken on the outside corner, and it's no balls and 1 strike. John Jay back in the leadoff spot. He's hit in 4 consecutive games. The Cardinals have had this leadoff spot kind of in flux since they moved Rafael Vercall to the 8 hole.
Yeah, Vercall has a bad back, so they moved him out, put Jay up. He's 10 out of his last 15.
Up high, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And he's stealing bases, 13 out of 15, so that can get you in the leadoff spot.
See what his numbers were in the month of July. He was benched a couple of times because of that. Here in August, though, he's hitting .464.
He's a very good center fielder, too.
2-1 the count to John Jay. And a foul ball off to the left, 2-2.
He really hurt the Phillies in that series last year in postseason, and then he didn't do much after that in the other ones. He didn't against Milwaukee. He didn't do a whole lot in the World Series, but against the Phillies, tough out.
Breaking ball whacked foul. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ryan Howard, who was injured in Game 5, and that, as we said, was one of the best playoff games of the entire postseason. There were some really good postseason games. On the hands, a looper back towards shortstop. 1 away here in the first.
These guys may have participated in the greatest game ever played. It'd be hard to think of a game that was better in that World Series game they played against Texas last year, when twice they were down to their last strike, let alone out.
Well, Tony La Russa retired at the end of the year, and Mike Matheny took over his first year as a manager in organized baseball. He's 10 games over 500.
Without Chris Carpenter all year, who was the hero last year for them.
Alan Craig swings at the first pitch, and he pops that one behind second. Rollins is there again, and there are 2 outs. During the 2012 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. There's Yadier Molina talking to Chris Carpenter. They got Wainwright back this year, and they've lost Carpenter. Wainwright is the one next to Chris Carpenter without the pullover on.
Unbelievable that Carpenter would miss the whole year after what he went through last year, and then Wainwright would come back.
First pitch to Halladay is taken low. Halladay 0 for his last 8. 319 though overall. He was a member of the All-Star team this year. outside, 2-0.
He was scattering them out in Ashburn Alley. Hit 2 balls in a row out underneath the clock area out there. The Sherwin-Williams below that area into Ashburn Alley. People were like, you got to be kidding me.
Well, this one is going to be shy of that. Dominic Brown, who's getting the start in right field tonight, puts it away, and it's a 1-2-3 first inning for Halladay. Just 10 pitches, pretty effective stuff. We go to the bottom of the first. The Cardinals nothing, and the Phillies coming up. The Wall of Fame ceremonies that took place before the ball game. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Left fielders, Juan Pierre, he'll bat second. Chase Utley bats third, followed by Ryan Howard, the first baseman. Dominic Brown's in right field tonight. He'll hit fifth. Nate Shearholtz, the center fielder, bats sixth. And the bottom third of Kratz, Franzen, and Dock. And they'll face former Philly right-hander Kyle Loesch, 33 years old, having one heck of a year. And this is walk season. He'll be a free agent at the end of 2012.
And that's happened to him before, and it's worked out pretty well. After spending one season with the Cardinals, they rewarded him with a big deal. Throws sinker. He is a strike thrower. He doesn't throw a whole lot of pitches in an inning because he's around the plate. So you have two guys tonight that hitters will be swinging at in Halladay, which they did, the Cardinals did, and Loesch.
Well, Rollins takes the first pitch sinker for strike one. It's 0-1.
He has a really good changeup. He'll throw slider, cutter. He'll throw a very good curveball, too.
There's the curve, and it's up high, 1-1. Rollins 248, 13 home runs, 42 runs batted in so far this year. Spins that one foul, 1-2. Well, earlier tonight, Jimmy Rollins was out on the field. You see, the Jimmy Rollins Foundation was presented with a check for $178,290 for last night's 7th annual baseball tournament, which took place at Lucky Strike Lanes here in Philadelphia. Great event. And Jimmy obviously was spearheading that, and his teammates were on hand. Chase Utley, Cole Hamels, Roy Halladay, you name it, they were there. It was a great night. Best bowler on the Phillies was the guy that's in the hole right now, and that's Chase Utley, who rolled a 155. So he won one of the prizes. The other one was Kevin Franzen. There were different floors, Wheels, second and third floor. Chase won on the third floor. Kevin Franzen won on the second floor.
I always thought Ryan Howard was the best bowler in that group.
Well, Jimmy contends that he is the best bowler, but last night, score-wise, it was those two guys. What a way on the ground out.
Pauling Hall of Fame used to be right across the street from the old Busch Stadium. It's not there anymore. I don't know where it moved to, but guys would go there, and the Phillies' best bowler was Mitch Williams. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's usually at the event. He must have had to work last night.
Mitch was a serious bowler.
I asked Ryan Howard how he felt last night. He said, "Nah, okay, not great, but it was a fun night." Juan Pierre takes a strike. The highest highest game was 181 by a gentleman who calls himself Tommy Mack.
That was you. You bowled that?
I did not, but we used the same barber, I'll tell you that. But he was a nice guy. He did a great job. In fact, his team won the overall prize, too.
181, huh?
He also bowled a 171 in one of the other games. 1-1 the count to Juan Pierre. And he takes a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Holiday. We have Holiday and Halliday here tonight. Holiday will back up now after that second strike to Juan Pierre.
Ground ball again to second base. There are 2 outs, 2 ground outs to second.
Freeze is the third baseman who backed up. And even the left fielder will back up a little bit more.
Oh, a 2 away. Chase Utley's coming up. Chase has not had a whole lot of success against Loesch, as you see there, 4 for 24.
Well, you see the way he's gotten in on 2 left-handed hitters. It's not like he throws real hard, but he has great movement on his pitches, and he has an idea, moves the ball around too, and he keeps the ball out of the middle of the plate. Kyle Loesch has really learned to pitch. You know, he was here for a year, and you could, or half a year, you could tell he had an idea of what he was doing out there, and did a good job for the Phillies. Now he is outstanding.
Yeah, he's 5th in the National League in earned run average at 2.79, 9th in innings pitched at 148.1. And the count is no balls and 1 strike to Chase Utley. Chase takes a change up, down and away, 1-1. Chase is 5 for 23 so far in this homestand, which has been an up and down homestand. Phillies are 3-3 going into tonight's ball game. Out in front, 1-2. That was the curve. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Kim Gathercole of Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, then Kim will win $100.
Loesch among the league leaders in fewest pitches per inning, right around 13, 14, 15, somewhere in that area.
Utley tops one toward the middle. Descalso picks it up and fires off balance, so he has all 3 assists in this first inning. One of the books here in Philadelphia. On to the second inning. It's the Cardinals nothing and the Phillies nothing. Organization 13 with the big club. There's a homer here in this ballpark during its inaugural year. In fact, we mentioned it earlier. Mike is the first tie to Citizens Bank Park as a player to be inducted into the Wall of Fame, which is out in center field. He was inducted here tonight. Not only was he an offensive catcher, but he also was a heck of a defensive catcher, winning a Gold Glove. And already folks are out there taking a look at Mike Lieberthal's black.
I got to get out there.
Yeah, you better get out there.
It looks like me.
There are going to be fingerprints all over that thing. Lieby, congratulations.
Thank you, Tom.
It was a great job. The speech was great. I mean, that's I know that's something that, as you said, you're not used to doing, but you did a heck of a job with it.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been thinking about that speech for a month now. And everybody's like, you got to memorize that. No.
Uh-oh. Carlos Beltran hits one deep to right field, and that one is not coming back. That is his 28th home run of the year. He's been among the league leaders all season long, 81 RBIs. That's his 8th home run in his last 17 games.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a towering shot.
Has been hot.
Well, they're 5th in the league in home runs with 123.
It's unbelievable. He has 28 home runs. I didn't even know that.
Yep.
It's a cutter kind of hung out over. That's one of those ones when you're back, you want to catch it.
Wow, that was a little hanger, huh?
Yeah.
Beltran, he's really made a comeback in his career, huh?
Yeah, he has. That's 28 home runs, 81 RBIs.
Didn't you hit the first home run in this park?
I don't know. Did I?
I think
the
you did.
First home run here.
I think you did.
I would believe it was probably to left field.
It was.
It was. You pulled it.
Yeah. Right. It's definitely a pull hitter.
I think it. Well, now I ask you a question. It's like a lawyer putting somebody on the stand. You should know the answer.
Right. I should.
I should have. But I think you did, Libby. I think you did hit the first home run here. Yeah.
I remember we did see a home run with the against the Cincinnati Reds.
That was
makes sense.
That was the first series.
Yep. David Freese, the hitter. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. What kind of honor is that, though, Mike, to come back and you'll be on that wall for the rest of your life?
I know. Beyond. Unbelievable. I told my kids that, but they're too young to understand. But I just feel so lucky and fortunate to just have played for this organization. I'm telling you, like I said, there's a lot of great players that come through Philadelphia. And in, the game of baseball, the business of baseball, sometimes you just don't get fortunate and lucky enough to stay on one club for a very long time. And guys like Jimmy Rollins and Chase, they've come through the organization. And Ryan Howard, they're hopefully these guys can stay here for long enough to be on the wall. Of course, Jimmy will be. And I just feel lucky. I mean, it's just incredible to have this kind of organization, this kind of ownership here that really takes care of their alumni. And I just feel really fortunate.
You did a great job, as Tommy said, with speaking, but one thing really jumped out at me, and that was you talking about Harry and Vuk, because your relationship with Vuk over the years was interesting.
Vuk was like my dad. If you don't know my dad was very hard on me when I was growing up. I mean, I'd be in that batting cage till my hands bled. And Vuk was the same way. When I came up to the big leagues, he wanted me to do well. He put a lot of time and effort into my career, and I'm telling you, he was no different than my dad, and I loved him for it. And he made me a better player, and I'm just, I just wish he was still here.
Yeah. Would you have thought that at the time when you were going through all that stuff with Vuk?
Well, there were times I wanted to punch him in the face, but no. But no, he was a very hard worker. He really was great with the younger players coming up. He just wanted them to really learn the game and to get better. And he wore his emotions on his sleeve, and some players might not have liked it, but you know what? He was like a father to me here in Philadelphia. He's one of the best coaches I've ever had, and I just appreciate everything he did for me.
How often do you get the freeze?
Oh, he'll freeze me. I'm telling you, better not non-hustle or do something that was a mental mistake per se in baseball, then he'd really jump on you. But he was a great third base coach. He's truly missed.
Well, you also mentioned Harry, and I know a lot of the guys that were part of the era that Harry did games, which was so long, they all talk about the fact that he was able to call their games.
Right.
What was that like?
Well, Harry was the most kind person I think I've ever met. From day one, he was always full of spirits. He was always positive. He always came up to me and said, "Lieby, have a good game today, and don't worry about what the fans are saying or what the media is saying." And I don't know. I just, and when he called games, he was always very positive, and he was one of my favorites here, and obviously his voice, and he's such a legend here in Philadelphia.
There's a ground ball foul. Ooh, just foul.
Took a weird hop.
That really did take a weird hop. What are you most proud of, Lieby, when you think about it? I mean, obviously the Gold Glove, the All-Stars, the fact that Charlie was pointing to the 330 home runs and the 275 lifetime average, stuff like that, when he was talking about you today. What are you most proud of?
You know what? Probably the Gold Glove. Not only the games caught, I've had a lot of injuries in my career. I know I was here for a long time, but I did have a lot of injuries, and I could have played, I think, a lot more games. But to have that Gold Glove that 1 year and be recognized for your defense, you know, I always took a lot of pride in my hitting, and I always put a lot of pressure on myself with the bat because I knew I can hit. And but I would have to say, just you know, in '99 when I got that Gold Glove, and it's still hanging in my family room, it's something that I look at and I probably cherish the most.
Well, the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Daniel Descalso.
The position that you played, obviously you banged up your knees a lot in that position. How tough was it?
Yeah, I just did not have great knees to begin with. I don't know, something happened in the minor leagues. I think I tore my left ACL, so I always had a tough left knee. I obviously in '01 when I got picked off and tore everything in my right one.
Well, Levy, congratulations.
Yeah,
enjoy the
thanks,
weekend.
Tom.
And we'll give you a little taste of HK calling one of your home runs as we go
awesome.
to break.
Appreciate
so this is a
all
nice
the love.
present to Mike Lieberthal. A little defense in this call from HK. It's 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the second. Mike Lieberthal, the newest addition to the Phillies Wall of Fame.
Ooh, good catch by Lieberthal. Got a chance out at second base. What a fine play by Lieberthal.
Phillies trail at 1-0 as we begin the bottom of the second. Ryan Howard leads it off. It'll be Howard, Dominic Brown, and Nate Shearholtz. Home run by Carlos Beltran. Right now, the only run of the night. The only hit of the night. Outside with a changeup, 2-0.
Thanks to Carl Graber, does such a great job on our stats. It was Bobby Abreu who hit the first home run here in this ballpark. Levy hit one in the 3rd game of that series into the win. The Phillies were off to a tough start that year, and he had a home run to win that game for us.
How about Ryan Howard getting on top of one, hitting it to the corner on his way to second, and he'll be there easily with a leadoff double, his 3rd double of the year.
Ryan Howard has amazing numbers off Kyle Loesch, too. One of the few guys that really hits him. And that 3-run home run he hit off him in the playoffs last year, that changeup, is one of the loudest I've ever heard this ballpark. There he hits a curveball, he hooks it right down the line, and he gets it into a spot where he can have an easy double, because doubles are not easy for Howard right now, the way that he's trying to move around. Says it doesn't hurt, he does the best he can trying to run, but he just, when he gets moving a little bit, he can do okay. It's just hard for him to run the bases.
Well, with nobody out, here's Dominic Brown. He's hit in 6 consecutive games. His average at .286, which is exactly where it was when he was down in the minor leagues. 7 for 21 during this stretch. Howard on second. Phil's down 1-0.
He's now 9 for 17 off Kyle Loesch. That's his first double. He has 2 homers and 8 RBIs off him, and he's walked 4 times.
Yeah, and that doesn't include the postseason.
No, it doesn't include that monster home run he hit that night. Oh, was it loud. Went
into the second deck in right center field. 2-0 the count to Dominic Brown. Dominic is 7 for 21 on this homestand. He's got a couple runs batted in. He batted second for a few games against the Braves. Now he's back to the 5-hole. Cracks that one to the right side. Off the glove of Descalso into shallow right. Here comes Ryan Howard. He's going to score. It'll be an RBI single for Dominic Brown. Well, the big man was moving right on the crack of the bat.
Right, you know, the ball's hit weakly to the right side, so he knows I can get over to third base. And I think what he did really well was he didn't shut it down going into third, and he gave Juan Samuel a chance to score. Here's a look at the base hit. It's a broken bat right off the end of the bat. Sometimes you do your job and you get a little bit more out of it. Dominic pulls the ball. Descalso dives for it. Actually dives past it. It hits the heel of the glove and bats away. He didn't really, you know, he slows just slightly, but for the most part, he didn't shut it down to the point where you can't start him up again.
So 1-1 game. Sherholtz will take a strike at the knees. It's 0-1.
Now you come walking into third base on that play, and you don't give your coach a chance to score you when the ball bounces away. He came into third hard and gave Sammy a chance to score him.
Sherholtz making his 44th start of the season. His average of .255 with 6 home runs, 18 runs batted in. See his numbers against the Cardinals. Cardinals 304. Murph, a little new address for Nate Sherholtz tonight out in the outfield.
It certainly is, T-Mac. In fact, we talked today before the game. I asked him when the last time he played center field was, and his initial answer was, I never have. I've never had a chance to play center field, but Charlie Manuel wanted to see him out there to see what he could do. Now, it turns out, after he thought about it for a minute or two, that Sherholtz actually has played center field. He played 2 games in the Beijing Olympics in 2008 in center field. He had 2 putouts during those games where the Americans won the bronze medal. But it really is new territory for Sherholtz. He said he's looking forward to the challenge. And like I said, you know, Charlie just said he wanted to take a look at Dom Brown out in right field. He wants to see what Sherholtz can do in center. And he wanted to get Juan Pierre some action tonight in left. So that's why you have the outfield that you have.
Well, and it's still, from a defensive standpoint, it doesn't slight Dominic Brown at all going from left field to right field. Dom said he's comfortable playing any of the positions out there. And Sherholtz had a big smile on his face today when he was talking about playing center field. He just popped out to third, so one away. And Eric Kratz is the hitter.
Well, this is one of the things you're seeing right now. Phillies, for the first time in a long time, are experimenting in August. And they're trying to find out some things. Ruben Amaro Jr. knows one of his big tasks this winter is to rebuild his outfield. And he has to figure out who to keep and who not to keep and who can play and who can't.
0-1 the count to Kratz. Tried to hold up. Didn't matter. They called it a strike. Dana Dubuque called it a strike. It's 0-2.
So Charlie Manuel and the coaching staff, they want to get out there and play these guys all over the place and see if they can learn something about them.
Yeah, I'll be interested. Murph mentioned Dominic Brown playing a little center field. Charlie reiterated that today. I'll be interested to see when he does that and, you know, how he does out in center field. 0-2 the count to Kratz. Inside, 1-2.
One thing he continues to do is have plate appearances where he runs deep counts and doesn't swing and miss and puts the ball in play. And around here, that's nice to watch because they've had so many hitters lately that strike out a lot and don't put the ball in play.
Over to first. Brown is back. Dominic Brown's only struck out twice.
Yeah.
Since he's been up here.
And you think about how many times he's even swung and missed.
Wheels, you want a hot dog? We know some folks.
Dollar dog nuggets. Those are good when they bring them up here once in a while. Huh?
1-2 the count to Kratz. Liner foul. He's been doing a good job with that particular pitch.
And 2 strikes is, you know, they're going to throw him a lot of breaking balls. You would look at him and think, well, big guy, big swing, has to be vulnerable away for a right-handed pitcher. And he has pretty good plate coverage. Now, you throw the perfect breaking ball down and away with 2 strikes, it's over anyway. But you make a mistake with him, and he puts the ball in play.
Of his 13 hits, 9 have been for extra bases.
swing and a miss. And there are 2 outs.
There's the good breaking ball that for a right-handed hitter from a right-handed pitcher, normally you don't hit it. See Molina set up away, and Loge throws it down and away in a perfect spot. Pratt's a big guy, would have mentioned, with a big swing, pulls off a little bit, and you can't get at that pitch. When you make a mistake to him, and he can hurt you.
90th strikeout of the year for Loge. That'll leave it for Kevin Franzen. 306 with a home run and 2 RBIs. 7 for 21 on the homestand so far. He's done a nice job of making some contacts.
Well, he's gotten himself to the point where he gets playing time. He's played himself into playing time in a position they desperately need somebody to man it.
Speaking of that, I talked to Polanco today, and Polly said that he was going to take ground balls today, extensive ground balls. Hasn't started to hit yet, but is feeling better. Now with the stiffness in his back. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Franzen. Brown leads off first. Outside, 2-0. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Atlanta Braves, after their off day in New York, on top of the Mets 2-0. No Chipper Jones tonight for the Atlanta Braves. He was in the original starting lineup, but he was pulled. If you follow Chipper Jones's Twitter account, then you know why he's not in the starting lineup.
Pray tell, share it with me.
Well, apparently the hotel that the Braves stay at, he had a difficult time overnight with the temperature in the room and a number of other things.
Oh, yeah?
Caused his back to stiffen up. He had some TV issues, Wheels. He couldn't watch the Olympics. He couldn't watch Carly Lloyd and the women's soccer team win the gold yesterday.
What'd that have to do with his back?
Well, I mean, it just caused a lot of anxiety, tightened it up, a lot of stress. His bed was not comfortable in. 2 outs. Here's Roy Halladay. I guess he didn't bring a good book with him, Wheels.
Just having a tough time assimilating all this.
A foul ball, and it's 0-1.
Into not being able to play.
Just had a rough couple of days.
As the kids say nowadays, whatever.
Wheels, he's a Hall of Famer. Sometimes
I think he's a tremendous player and a Hall of Famer. Whatever.
Just telling you the story.
Good. That Twitter comes in handy. Why would he want to tell anybody that?
I don't know. He just wanted to vent to somebody, is what he said. I didn't read the tweets.
Why didn't he just tell the trainer?
I think he told the trainer, too. At least he's not tweeting the trainer. Oh, to the count to Roy Halladay. And he hits it the opposite way, just foul.
Oh, he almost snuck that by the guy.
Yes, he did. There's Rachel, the Phillies ball girl. She'll hand that ball off to a young lady.
Here's a look at it, trying to get it over the bag. Of course, it's a line drive, so it's not the same as a ground ball. Line drive, it's foul, it's foul.
And a curveball. And Halladay is the second strikeout victim of the night. The Phillies tie it up, and a base hit from Dominic Brown. We go to the third, all smiles in a 1-1 game. your answer on the subject line. Wheels, here's the question. Name the 3 catchers enshrined in the Phillies Wall of Fame. The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Oh, nice smiles out there in Ashburn Alley.
Yeah.
These young ladies enjoying their night. I don't think they've blinked since we put the camera on. Roy Halladay's given up a run on a home run, but his team evened it up with a run at the bottom of the 2nd, so now we go to the 3rd.
Speaking of home runs, Carl Graber come up with another one for us. Not only did Mike Lieberthal not hit the first home run here, he didn't even hit the second. David Bell did. He hit the 3rd.
Yeah, I remember David Bell did.
He hit the 3rd.
But it was a whopper, wasn't it?
Yeah. They were very important, both of those. The second 2, because the Phillies had lost the first couple games here, if I remember that. And then they were off to a bad start in their new ballpark. And then they won the final game of the series against the Reds, coming from behind.
So we've gotten to the bottom of it.
Thank you, Carl, as always.
Rafael Furcal will lead it off here in the 3rd. Furcal, Loesch, and then the top of the order. Furcal swings at the first pitch. That's going to be a tough one for them to track down, although Franzen, oh, he almost got it. That was a tough play. He was kind of like a wide receiver going out.
So hard to make that play for a third baseman. The guys here tonight on that Wall of Fame, Mike Schmidt, used to make this with anybody. He was so good at it, catching it over his shoulder, and you see he never even touched it. Has all that spin coming back the other way, and Schmidt would make that play look so easy, and you always knew that's really hard.
Yeah, he was the only one that could make that play. It was too far for Rollins and for Pierre.
Yeah, well, Jimmy Rollins is shaded up the middle for Furcal, or that play's his, because it's much easier for the shortstop because he has an angle coming that way.
As Wheels mentioned, Furcal has been battling a stiff back. Up until this past Monday, he was mired in an 0 for 14 slump. He broke that. I still don't think he's swinging the way he was early on this year.
Boy, did he do a great job for them last year. He had back problems when he was with the Dodgers. One of the reasons why they, the Dodgers let him go. And then he wound up with St. Louis, and his back was healthy enough to have a tremendous season for them.
In the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Furcal since the 1st of June, in that neighborhood, the first week of June, he's hitting only 200. His average has dipped down to 265. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Fooled on the pitch by Halladay. First strikeout for Doc. Don't forget the Cardinals will be here tomorrow and Sunday. Tomorrow is Toyota Alumni Night. Come to the ballpark, get yourself a cheesesteak, and watch the Phils play the Cards. Sunday at 1:35. We're inviting all fans to bring some baseball and softball equipment to the ballpark. It'll benefit Pitch In for Baseball. It's all part of the Baseball Tomorrow Fund and the Phils program. Tickets are available for both games by checking out Phillies.com. Kyle Loesch is a 155 career hitter. It's 0-1 as Halladay goes back to work here in the 3rd. Broke his bat. Oh man, the head of the bat hits the screen in front of the Cardinals dugout.
Boy, did they duck for cover.
There's the handle. And a handful of pieces all around the batter's box.
Yeah, that's shattered. And
That's
they're
where the
pointing
bat
right there that thank goodness that screen worked. Here goes the barrel right towards his teammates, and if they start, look at those guys dive.
Ooh.
And actually hit the top there near the railing.
Ryan Jackson, who was just added to the roster today, well, he was in the area. If that screen wasn't there, he would have gotten hit.
Saying, boy, these are big league screens, probably better than the minors.
John Jay takes outside. Jay hit a humpback line drive out to shortstop his first time up. Back toward the middle, a base hit for Jay. That was a changeup that just hung up a little bit in the strike zone. And he's aboard with 2 outs.
His timing's really good with his swing right now. He has some movement in that swing. All that movement, and the bat's on his shoulder, and then he cocks his hands, and then he lets it fly. That takes a lot to hit successfully when you do that much stuff. And he is on a tremendous hot streak right now.
Well, that's now 11 hits in his last 17 at bats, 12 hits in his last 21 at bats. And it brings Alan Craig to the plate. They might have Jay run here.
Sure, he'll be on his own right now, you would think, and this is a great time to steal a bag with 2 outs.
A strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Alan Craig.
13 out of 15.
Alan Craig missed the last couple of days because he was hit by a pitch in the ribs. So the contusion caused him to miss yesterday's games.
This guy has some serious power. And another one of those hitters, we always talk about them. When they hold their hands low the way he does, that means they're low ball hitters. And you think more about left-handed hitters being low ball hitters, but watch where his hands are. He wants the ball down.
Foul tip into the glove of Kratz. 0-2. Cardinals yesterday were at home, and they were taking on the San Francisco Giants. They play here this weekend. They have an off day Monday, then they go right back home.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll fly out of here Sunday night, have a day off, and have a nice homestand.
Yeah, Mike Matheny's team is in the middle of 16 of 19 at home at Busch Stadium. 0-2 pitch. Curveball and a call. Strike 3. Beautiful pitch from Halladay. Craig goes down looking. Second strikeout of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We move to the bottom of the third. Jimmy Rollins will lead it off when we come back. The burgundy pinstripes. Order your tickets now at Phillies.com and come retro dressed like Vanilla Ice. There's Matt Mailer. He's got his Vanilla Ice outfit out there in Ashburn Alley. We'll be turning back the clock to that 91 season. There you go, Wheels. The old burgundy stripe uniforms. Get your tickets now at Phillies.com. Burgundy pinstripes. Jimmy Rollins leads it off. And it's 0-1. There's the old logo.
I like the uni they have now.
I do too. I like that burgundy one though. That was a sharp uniform.
That was when they would wear blue on the road too.
The blue like Vanilla Ice's jumpsuit.
Well, a little different, a little more turquoise.
Yeah,
it's more like the Fish's early colors.
Rollins takes inside. It's 2-1.
Miami has a lot of different colors in that uni now.
I don't know if you noticed, but Vanilla Ice was doing a little rap out there. Wheels over the chat.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
Well, you're the 90s expert. We tried to work that out the other night. That went nowhere.
Rollins pops it up the third base line. Freeze will take over. And the catch is made. That was almost a fair ball. One away. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, any size soft drink or sweet tea is just $1. And by Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. When Matt gets in character, Matt gets in character.
Vanilla ice in the house.
I got you, Matt.
Fans have no idea how many characters they have seen him play here over the years.
And you might see him play again later on tonight.
He is so good.
Juan Pierre grounded out his first time up. And it's 0-1, a curveball. Juan is not pleased by that call by the home plate umpire, Dana DeMuth. Freezes in on the grass at third. And he bunts it foul. I think that bunt was going to go toward first.
Yeah, it was a slider coming in on him. A lot of times, you know, a guy like Juan Pierre, he'll think he's going to get a certain pitch, and he'll have in his mind where he wants to bunt it, looking at the fielders, and then you get the pitch with the movement that it has like that, then that's a pitch that's very hard to bunt to third. You almost have to drag it. Looked like Loesch just mouthed something to Molina about what he wants.
He wanted a curveball. Kyle Loesch has not made an error since May of 2010. Has 2 outs here in the third.
Molina wants to make sure he's okay, that it didn't get any of his bare hand. Ball's hit fairly hard right back at him. Breaking ball, and Loesch reacts nicely. Juan Pierre slipped a little bit coming out of the box, really didn't matter.
Articles in the St. Louis Dispatch over the last couple of days are wondering what Kyle Loesch will receive in the free agent market this offseason. He's in the final year of a 4-year, $41 million contract. And he's having a heck of a year with an earned run average of 2.80, which is 5th best in the National League.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what he can get, because he's not a guy that you're going to sign him because he's a hard thrower, those kind of things. He's already developed into what he's going to be. This is it. Change speeds, a lot of different pitches, throws strikes, and gets quick outs.
3-1 on the put out, a 1-2-3 third inning. So he's retired the Phils in order 2 of the 3 innings so far. We've completed 3. It's 1-1 between the Phillies and the Cardinals. You'll love, like long-lasting Duracell copper top batteries from who? But WB Mason. Top of the 4th inning here at Citizens Bank Park. Earlier tonight we had the Toyota Wall of Fame induction. Mike Lieberthal, the latest induction. The Wall of Fame began back in 1978 at Veterans Stadium in Sarge. At that point, the Phillies were inducting a player from the Phillies organization and from the A's organization.
Okay.
Robin Roberts was the first inductee for the Phillies. Do you want to take a stab at who the first A's inductee was?
No.
You don't even want to try?
No.
He wore a suit during the game. Connie Mack.
Oh, Connie Mack was the manager there, and also Hat.
I just figured you would know since you're a Hat guy.
He did have on one of those fedoras, and I don't know if they argued as much back in the day, though, especially with those suits. Huh?
I was going to say his uniform, his suit would have gotten very dusty if he went out to the field.
Yeah, good luck they had back then.
Well, the A's were part of the Wall of Fame induction through the 2003 season when Phillies moved from the vet over here to Citizens Bank Park. And you can go, every time you come to the ballpark, you can go out to the Toyota Wall of Fame throughout the course of the ball game. It's out there in center field.
Yeah, it is nice to be able to see all the different plaques. See just about how far it is there from center field to home plate.
Little number foul, and it's 2-2 to Matt Holliday, who fly to right his first time out.
Holliday was playing pepper with that. Actually wasn't playing pepper because he was hitting it over that center field wall during batting practice. One of the stronger guys in the league.
Back toward the middle. Rollins is there. Good pitch by Holliday to get Holliday. And with one away, it'll bring Carlos Beltran to the plate.
So you have to pitch those power hitters. You don't want them to get extended, so you try and get in on the hands. And when Doc's ball's moving, he can do just that.
And we were talking about this before, Sarge. His ball is moving.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's got that heavy type of a sinker going.
Beltran has seen 2 pitches so far tonight. One he deposited into the seats in right. And that one he fouled away. It's 0-1.
Yeah, fastballs. He's a fastball hitter. See that familiar pine tar there that's on the bat.
Curveball, 1-1 the count. Eight home runs in his last 17 games. Now it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Back-to-back curves to Beltran.
Now his legs still are a little bit sore from time to time, and you need your legs to be able to hit. You generate power that way. And when he's healthy, one of the better players in the game.
Well, as it's turned out, the contract that he signed with the Cardinals, from a Cardinals standpoint, even for his standpoint, has been a good one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a lot of people were wondering if it was worth signing Beltran to the deal during the offseason. He signed through next year. It was a 2-year deal. And as it turns out, 28 home runs, 81 runs batted in. It's been a good deal.
Yeah, on his way to 100 RBIs. It's usually how you judge a lot of players. And he usually hits either 3rd, 4th, or 5th. He's done that throughout his career.
2-2 pitch to him. Fastball and a call. Strike 3. 3rd strikeout for Doc. Beltran didn't think so. Tonight on Sports Scrapple on the Comcast Network, it's the Spectrum's final show, followed by a salute to Walter Payton with Sweetness Remembered, followed by the making of Citizens Bank Park. Sports Scrapple, combining all the tasty parts of Philadelphia's rich sports history. Tonight and every Friday night at 10 on the Comcast Network. David Freese takes outside. It's 1-0.
Great football player.
Sweetness.
Woo.
Walter Payton was one of the best of all time. He used to run people over.
Oh. Had a little light voice. Like a soprano, if you will. But boy, could he run that ball.
Opposite way for Freese. It's slicing foul. And it's 1-2.
Doc, one of those pitchers that it's very difficult to try and guess. That's why you got to really just sit back and kind of hit whatever he gives you. If he's throwing it on the outside, you want to go that way. Certain pitchers, you can go out and pull their outside pitches.
Curveball waved at and missed. He has everything working through these first 4 innings. He has 4 strikeouts, all 4 in the last 2 innings. 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals for the second time tonight. We played 3.5 here at Citizens Bank Park. Doc is dealing, and the Phils are tied at 1. Brought to you by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer. Visit ChevyDealer.com. By WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Nissan Summer Saving Days. Event ends September 4th. Visit ChooseNissan.com. Some of the sights around Citizens Bank Park. Yes, Mike Lieberthal was inducted into the Wall of Fame tonight. There's the card that all fans were given when they came through the gates. Brought to you by Toyota. All right, Howard takes inside. It's 1-0. Park is as beautiful as ever.
Oh boy.
At the knees, it's 1-1.
Oh, Kyle, another one of those pitchers that has a lot of movement on his pitches. And he's one of those guys that cannot live over the heart of the plate.
Well, he's trying to go as soft as possible here to Ryan Howard.
Yeah, and he will do that. I mean, the balls that he will throw hard, fastballs, he wants them in off the plate. And then he'll take a little bit off of just about all of his pitches.
1-2 the count to Howard.
That's what I'm talking about. Fastball out of the zone. Zoning them down if you're trying to hit them.
And called strike 3. That looked like it came right back over the inside part of the plate.
Yeah, looking for something off speed.
3 strikeouts for Loesch. Sarge, the Cincinnati Reds are coming to town. We mentioned it before. Wednesday the 22nd is 1990s Retro Night. Monday the 20th is a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. Here at the ballpark, it's a 4-game series. August brings plenty of great opportunities and great opponents. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. We were watching that game today, as well as watching the Olympic basketball game between the United States and Argentina. And the Reds won 10-8. Homer Bailey got the victory.
Yeah, they've been losing a few games. Got swept by the Milwaukee Brewers. We're talking about winning a division. Boy, it still remains difficult.
Dominic Brown fouls it away. It's 1-2. Well, the Reds are still 2.5, or I should say 3 games up over the Pirates. Pirates are on top of San Diego 5-1 in the 4th. Anybody that thought that Pittsburgh was going to falter like they did last year doesn't seem like it's happening. And then they're 5.5 ahead of the Cardinals, who are in third.
Well, their center fielder, Andrew McCutcheon, he continues to blister the ball, hitting at a 369 clip. It's pretty good for this time of the year. He's got home runs, RBIs, the guy steals bases. Excellent defensive player.
And a foul tip into the glove of Yadier Molina. 2 outs here in the fourth. Only the third time that Dominic has struck out since coming up from the minor leagues.
Took a little bit off of that. Take a look at it as it kind of disappears out of the zone there. I don't think you'd call it a curveball, more changeup for me. Good movement, however.
I think you're right. 2 outs for Scherholz. Murph mentioned before, Scherholz is making his first major league start, his first professional start in center field. Did play 2 games in the Olympics in 2008 in center field for Davey Johnson. Big deal, Sarge, playing center compared to right and left?
Well, I think that it's really easier. You just need to have speed. You're able to actually get better jumps when you're in center field because you're actually looking right at the plate develop in front of you. No, on the other side, when you're in left and right, you're looking at the angle of the bat a lot of times to be able to get the jump. Center field, though, you can see it, like I said, right in front of your eyes.
1-2 the count to Scherholz, who popped out his first time up.
I think Mayberry feels a lot more comfortable when he's in, center field. At least he appears to be that way. Well, you can see why he's had a good year. And we're talking with some of the coaches. They're saying that really easily he could have 15 victories. That's how good Kyle Lohse has been so good so far this year. Just kind of putting everything together.
His numbers are pretty even at home and on the road. He's 6-1 at home, 6-1 on the road. Philly certainly got to him during the postseason last year. And just 1 run tonight here in the bottom of the fourth. Fly ball, shallow right center field. Descalso is out. He was wandering for a while and I think was probably hoping that John Jay would call him off. He did not. It's a 1-2-3 inning, 7 in a row retired by Lohse, and we'll go to the 5th. Advantage of the new low pricing and see every remaining Phillies out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Phillies.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Top of the fifth. It's a 1-1 game. Yadier Molina, Daniel Descalso, and Rafael for call. 6, 7, and 8. Molina bounces it foul. It's 0-1. Sarge, what do you make of Yadier Molina's 11 stolen bases?
Oh, boy. Wow. I wouldn't think that he's actually stealing them on speed. I'm thinking that he's probably stealing those and getting a good jump on the pitcher. Not really one of those guys that you would think that would be stealing a lot of bases. Though he is having an extremely good year. And yes, really without Carlos Ruiz out of there, he might be stepping up as the catcher that would win the silver bat, which would mean the best hitting catcher in the league.
Well, Buster Posey is hitting .329 and has had an unbelievable second half. Posey has 73 runs batted in. Molina has 54. It's going to be a heck of a race. He was just hit by that pitch. Mike Matheny's following the Cardinals athletic trainer out to take a look at him.
Well, one of their better players never feels good when you get hit. Take a look at it, and for whatever reason, those catchers seem to be getting him. Oh, boy. Watch where he hit. Oh, you hear that? That's on the pad, but let me tell you, that still smarts there a little bit. Doesn't feel very good when somebody's coming over and just saying, hey, yeah, how's it feel? And not on purpose, not one of those type of pitchers that will throw at batters at all.
Well, here's Daniel Descalso. He grounded out to second his first time up. Well, he's set up to try to turn two. And it's low. 1 ball and no strikes.
That's good, too, though, that he throws inside every now and then just to make sure that hitters know that he will come in and guys won't be diving out on the outside part of the plate.
Toss over to first. Molina has a short lead.
And that's just a reminder that he knows he is over there. And they go through who's stealing bases, when they're stealing them before meetings, especially when you first see a club, the first game of the series.
Outside, 2-1 the count. Yeah, he doesn't have the kind of lead right now that would tell you he's going to try to steal second.
And again, though, too, it could be double steals where you have a runner there on second and they're trying to get the runner at third. You get one because you go. Well, you got a catcher that has 16 stolen bases. That's just helping you out, getting you in scoring position.
Ground ball toward first. Howard goes to second for 1. And that'll be the only out they get. Molina slid in hard at Rollins. The putout goes 3-6. And one away. And that'll bring Raphael Furcal to the plate, and it also gives us a chance to check in with the Major League Notebook with a much thinner Greg Murphy.
Yeah, apparently the TV adds some pounds, I'm being told, out here in Section 103. Time for the Major League Notebook, brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy College. First note, Hanley Ramirez is returning to Florida tonight, this time as a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And right now, during that game, the Dodgers lead that game 1-0, and Ramirez has 2 for 3 with a run knocked in, so having a good return as well. And Sarge, I wanted to ask you a question in terms of the Notebook. Do you know what happened on this date back in 1981 in Veterans Stadium?
Huh. In Veterans Stadium? Yeah. Oh, gosh, no, can't say that I can remember.
Well, how about Pete Rose gets his hit 3-6-3-1, 3,631st hit, becoming the all-time hits leader in the National League, passing Stan Musial on this date in Veterans Stadium back in 1981. I thought for sure you'd remember that, Sarge.
Wow, you know what? I don't remember exactly when he got the hit, but I thought the pitcher was Nolan Ryan.
No, I
was
think
he pitching?
No, it was Mark Little, as a matter of fact.
Mark Little, Nolan Ryan, same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Same thing.
Yeah, I'm just glad I don't get all those quizzes that Wills gets. Really. Oh boy, that's pretty good.
On the spot, Sarge.
Yeah, that's pretty good, though. I like that. Thanks for that.
You got it.
Grounder right side. Howard will get another chance. Nope, he's just going to go get the runner at first, and he just gets for call. There are 2 outs.
Oh, that's a good play, too, and that gives you an indication. That ball hit to the right side. That pitcher has to go over no matter what. Can't take anything for granted. Ryan Howard thought about throwing maybe to second, but in that situation, I think it's great that you go on and get that out and not complicate things. See Doc over there almost having a collision. There it is, that fake. Well, no, got to get over there. Bam! Gets him before he gets there.
He's got to be careful of running into a starting pitcher there, Sarge.
Well, that's for sure.
I would think the reason he did this, too, is 2 outs, the pitcher's up. So he figures that Doc can go after the pitcher, and he doesn't have to worry about that throw, which has been an issue for him during the course of his career.
Yeah, and you believe me, he has to think about it when that ball comes that way, just because you have thrown some away.
In the dirt, Kratz keeps it in front of the plate, 1-0.
The one thing, though, when he moves his feet and he's going toward the target, just makes him a little bit easier where, hey, I don't have to think about it. Moving your feet, there goes a good toss. Seems like when he thinks about it, that's when that ball seems to head in a different direction. Both pitchers getting a lot of low strikes. Just kind of keeps the game moving when those kind of pitches are called. I think it's a good thing.
He's had a really good curveball tonight.
Oh,
honestly, he's had a good everything. He hasn't had to throw his cutter as much tonight.
Well, when he's throwing those breaking balls and they're sharp the way they are, and down in the zone, that's the kind of Doc that we're used to.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Loesch. Curveball nub to the right side. Here comes Utley, and the inning is over. So the Cardinals get a runner in scoring position. They leave one onto the bottom of the 5th. Anybody want a cool one? Delivered right to your smartphone. Download the free CSN Sports app today. Bottom of the fifth. Eric Kratz, Kevin Franzen, Roy Halladay due up. And we just want to relay a story. David Montgomery, the Phillies president, came in and wanted Sarge to know that he was on the right path as far as Pete Rose's record-breaking hit in '81, because Nolan Ryan gave up the tying hits.
Right, exactly. And you know what? The only reason I sort of kind of remember, because Pete was just continually talking how he wanted to break that record against Nolan. And I remember that the first hit that he ended up getting, and then my mind went blank after Murph said, well, no, it was a different pitcher. So I just lost it all then, but I'm right back on it again.
Well, you were close. You were on the right path, and then the strike occurred, and then it was Mark Little who gave up the record-breaking hit. So Nolan Ryan gave up the record-tying hit, and then Mark Little gave up the record-breaking hit. So nice job by you. So
I guess I should get maybe half a bell, wouldn't you think?
I don't think that the committee will give you a half a bell.
All right.
All right, they will. My bad, they will.
Oh, boy.
Eric Kratz leads it off. It's no balls and one strike here in the bottom of the fifth. Over towards shortstop for call. Backhands awkwardly. And one away. Think about that, though, Sarge. If Pete Rose had set the record for most hits in the National League, not that Mark Little is anything to sneeze about, but if he had broken that record against Nolan Ryan, that would have sat in Nolan Ryan's craw for the rest of his life.
You better believe it, too. And Nolan was the type of pitcher, he didn't want any records against him. But almost like yesterday, though, I remember that ball actually going in, at least I think it did, into left field.
Oh, no, here we go.
No, but seriously, though, I mean, it was just such a battle every time both those guys got together, Nolan Ryan and Pete Rose. And Pete Rose is one of those guys, did not want to be outdone at any time.
Well, Nolan Ryan the same way. There's a beautiful bunt by Franzen, and he just gets it there ahead of the throw. Gets himself there ahead of the throw. A bunt single.
Kind of a smart thing, kind of a break. Just break that swinging up. He's been able to jam hitters, get inside on them. Take a look at it as he lays this down perfectly. That ball kind of hooking as he deads it. You don't have to be a fast runner to get there, and he got there, I thought, plenty of time.
Well, so he's aboard, a bunt single. Halladay's up.
Running situation. Want to get that runner in scoring position.
And Doc bunts in front of the plate. Only play is to first. Nice bunt. So the go-ahead runners in scoring position now for Rollins. Nice round of applause for Doc for getting the job done.
That's what you like to do, though. The pitchers like Cal Loach, you got to keep him under pressure. Under pressure means having runners in scoring position. Franzen should be able to have a good jump, 2 outs. Don't have to look to see where the ball is hit.
Rollins rips it. Oh boy. Just out in front. It's 0-1. That was a changeup that was up a little bit.
Yeah. Now you set him up on that because he had been throwing in 2 previous at bats, all fastballs and cutters in, sinkers, cutters in, and then he comes with a changeup. First pitch. Nobody on. Usually they'll go right after J-Roll, try and get balls on the inside, and then when runners on, they'll soften it up a little bit, go off-speed pitches a little bit more.
Over to the right side of Descalso. To his left. Side is retired. So the Phillies get a runner in scoring position but do not score. A base hit on the bunt single by Kevin Franzen. We've completed 5. Still a 1-1 game as we go to the 6th here at Citizens Bank Park.
taking advantage of every opportunity given to him. The Phillies catchers this season have been taking a beating. While they're on the disabled list, Eric Pratt stepped up from the Iron Pigs and is delivering in all areas. His bat has been consistent and full of extra base hits. His defense behind the plate has been strong and has kept the Phillies without a void in their battery. The 32-year-old born in Telford, Pennsylvania, is putting on a show. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Changing the game. Well, the former bronze medalist in table tennis, Rex Ronald, has returned again, this time trying to box the Fanatic, Sarge. As the Olympic Games come to a close over in London, well, the lights went out for Rex Ronald.
Oh, boy, I tell you. Take a look at it again as he just knocks him right off to the ground. He goes.
So Rex Ronald has tried to get 3 gold medals on this homestand, has not been able to do so. By the way, with the Fanatic in his corner was Danny Garcia, the light welterweight champion. And that's whose belt the fans here got a chance to see once the Fanatic knocked him out.
The real champion.
The real champion. 0-2 the count to John Jay as we begin the 6th.
Yesterday at the bowling tournament, well, not tournament, but I should say for J-Row, it's a charitable function.
Baseball tournament.
Bernard Hopkins was there. Did you see him?
I did, and he had a crowd around him.
I was going to go over and give him a few fakes there, but I was talked out of it as the doctor is operating again.
Well, there were some of the silent auction items included a Bernard Hopkins autographed boxing glove, 2 gloves, and he had people around him from the time he walked in the door until the time he left.
Terrific shape.
Terrific. With 1 away, Alan Craig, who's popped out to short and is struck out looking. And a curveball missed. It's 1-0. Craig's average at .292. That'll be a foul ball. Franzen will give it a look. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Greg Murphy has a very special guest we saw earlier tonight. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Steve. I guess celebrating the Wall of Fame tonight, and this man was inducted in the Phillies Wall of Fame in 1991. Of course, Larry Boa, former shortstop, and of course manager here in Philadelphia. And you managed Mike Lieberthal, and it is his night tonight, and certainly a special night. What do you remember best about Mike and the way he approached the game?
Well, I mean, he gave you everything he had every single night. And, you know, when I came over here to manage, we had to change the culture a little bit. And he was very instrumental in that. He'd been around for a while. He'd gone through a lot of losing seasons. But his passion for the game, he always wanted to catch every inning of every game and did a real good job for me.
You know, it is such a, he talked about it in his speech. It's so special to be honored in front of the fans in Philadelphia. You know all about that. And what do you think it means to a guy like Mike who, you know, spent his entire career, or most of his career, I should say, here in the Philly organization?
It means a lot. When you're honored by the organization like the Phillies and, of course, the fan support that they get, it's a great honor. And no one's ever doubted the passion of these people here through good times, bad times. And I agree with what he said. It was a pleasure playing here. It was a pleasure managing here. I got to do all. I got the first hit at the vet. I got the first win here. But to have Levy and that group to actually start to change the attitude a little bit was something special.
And you guys get a chance to, you know, see some old teammates. And I know this is a great weekend. The Phils do such a great job. How nice is it to be back and see some of the guys that you see?
It's great because I've been on the field, so I haven't been able to get back here. And I picked up my schedule this year and made sure these 3 days were going to be blocked off. Tomorrow's going to be great. Then I'm going to play in the golf tournament on Monday. But the Phillies to me are the Yankees of the National League.
That is high praise indeed. Larry, great to have you here this weekend. Good to see you. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. Yeah, Larry Boa received a very nice round of applause when he was introduced with his Philly jersey on for the first time since he left as the manager of the Phillies. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Matt Holliday.
Guy was a good player. I mean, he made himself a good hitter. Over 2,000 hits. I mean, oh boy.
Roy Halladay's curveball tonight has been one of the best curveballs we've seen all year long. He has 6 strikeouts. He gets the Cardinals in order. We move to the bottom of the 6th with the Cardinals and the Phils tied at 1. For Holmes, talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. Buy Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And buy AT&T. Rethink possible. Bottom of the 6th inning. A little view from the field as Juan Pierre digs in. Pierre's grounded out twice. Once to second, once back to the mound. 8 groundouts right now for Kyle Loesch through 5 innings. Doc has 8 as well.
You got all the infielders there and are playing in for Juan Pierre. Well, even in short and second, I mean, everybody shortens up when he comes up because, again, those swinging bunts. So everybody's up there short with the speed that he has. Be able to beat out just about any hits. He has a lot of infield hits over his career.
Well, he has 9 bunt hits this year. And he's probably going to be taking a couple pitches here. What do you think, Sarge?
3-0. He tries to take. He knows the game. Wants to get on. And not only that, he's one of the hitters not afraid to hit with 2 strikes on him.
Utley's on deck. Howard to follow after chase. Ball 4. And Pierre works out the walk. Second walk issued by Loesch in the game. And that'll bring Chase Utley to the plate. Mike Matheny, the first-year manager of the Cardinals.
Now Chase should be getting fastballs here simply because you have a base stealer that's on first base.
Now, would you test the arm of Molina at all here for your Pierre?
He's a base stealer. Oh, absolutely. If he gets a jump, you're stealing on that pitcher. So you get a jump, you got to go. You got to get in scoring position.
Utley takes a strike. It's 0-1. Change up.
And a good one.
Yadier Molina's thrown out 45% of the runners who have tried to steal this year.
That's amazing.
22 of 49.
And you think if you just had 30%, that would be great. Now, you can see what that 45 will do. What it does, it scares base runners from actually running or trying to steal a base.
Just to put it in perspective, the league average is 26%. Loesch, meanwhile, has gone 71 innings without a stolen base attempt or a successful attempt. outside, 1-1 as Utley takes a fastball.
Well, you can see all the good catchers on that particular pitch there. He's set up outside Molina, but he's already almost in a throwing stance when he gets kind of a little bit not straight away. And all those good catchers will do that, and they like calling that outside fastball. See how he turns a little bit there? He's already in position. Good changeup on the outside part of the plate. And I'm sure Juan is thinking that those are the pitches that he wants to try and steal on him. The off-speed pitches. Takes longer, obviously, to get to the plate. But again, Molina can make it up has a quick release, and he's pretty accurate too when he throws to second base. There's that turn again.
2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Utley. Yeah, I guess it doesn't bother the pitcher at all that his target is turned a little bit because the pitcher's trying to pick up the glove.
Right, that's exactly right. You know, and before, catchers would be a little bit more conventional and just almost square toward the pitcher. Then he would have to actually pivot.
Chase fights it off, and it remains 2-2.
Kind of surprised that Juan hasn't even attempted to steal. Sure, he is on his own. Most base stealers are on their own. They like to be able to run and get a jump when they're looking at or guess that a pitcher's throwing a particular pitch. Little cat and mouse game there.
So Perlazzo's timing the pitcher in this spot. Timing him into the plate to give Juan Pierre a little idea of how long it's taking him to get from the mound to the plate. Utley takes low, 3-2. What do you think now?
I would think that he's going to run, definitely. You know, then when Sam does, when he gives you that time, if he gives you a time of 1-1 or 1-2, usually the runners aren't going to go. You know, anything else, 1-3, 1-4, or even higher, they're going to usually take off.
Pierre goes, and the pitch is lifted in the air, shallow right center field. One away. Ryan Howard is due up. All right, Sarge, we don't want you to go away empty-handed for the end of the inning. Here we go. We're going to flash back to 1981. Nolan Ryan to Pete Rose. You were right, to left field. It dropped in for the record-tying hits. And then, as you see, tied stand mutual, 3,630. And then here's the record breaker. That was after the strike. And Pete Rose did it against Mark Little.
Yeah, I had a feeling that ball was going into left field. Actually, a lot of his hits were to left field.
In fact, his record-breaking hit, the base hit that gave him the all-time hits record, went to left field against Eric Schau. Ryan Howard is up with the runner at first. There goes Pierre. Pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second base is the throw was there and he missed the tag.
Yep, that's right.
Juan Pierre gets in safely.
Boy, oh boy, does this guy throw the ball on the money or what?
Mike Matheny's coming out to argue with Lance Barrett. He said no way he missed him.
Quick throw, quick release though by Molina as he gets that ball over to second base. And you can see I thought he had a pretty good jump. There is. Oh, he took his hand away, but, you know, wow.
Did he get his hand before he took it away? Watch, well, right there. I don't know if he did. I don't think he did. Well, they're saying Rafael Furcal is saying that he got that lead hand that Pierre pulled back as he was pulling it back. Let's see if the Phillies can capitalize on that stolen base by Pierre, who is now 2 away from reaching 30 stolen bases for the 11th time in his career in a season.
Yeah, he actually stole there on a changeup. See how he tried to bring it back? And I got to tell you what, he looked out for me from there. Looked like he actually tagged him right there somewhere on his finger or the area where he has that glove.
0-1 the count to Howard. Swing and a miss and a changeup. 0-2.
You know, and that play happens just so fast. You can see even on the replay, looking at it different ways, it's not really definitive if he was out or safe. I did think, though, he was out, but it gives you an indication with the umpire having to call that with the naked eye and having to call it right away.
Dana DeBeeth is the crew chief. Doug Eddings over at first. Lance Barrett at second. Paul Nart is at third. 0-2 the count to Ryan Howard, who doubled and scored the only run for the Phils. That double came back in the second. Swing and a miss. He's thrown him nothing but soft pitches since that double.
Well, that's what he's done, too. You're right. And making the adjustment. Another changeup. Look at the changeup grip there. He gives you the fastball motion with the arm. Gives you that changeup grip. But he's perfected that. That pitch there looks a little better than what we've seen there in the past.
I agree. He's always had a good changeup, but this one, it looks like it's just biting really well.
Changeup. I thought he also had a pretty good slider.
Dominic Brown is the hitter. Dominic spins it the opposite way. Foul. And it's 0-1. Oh, nice play.
Well, you can tell he's feeling pretty good about that changeup. He continues to throw it. I'm sure that's been a big weapon for him. That's why he has those 12 victories.
Nice play by a young fan down in the first row.
Dominic Brown showing you quick hands inside. That was a tough pitch. Cutter coming in.
Toyota Major League scoreboard. Hanley Ramirez now has 3 hits and 2 RBIs for the Dodgers. They lead the Marlins 5-2 in the bottom of the 7th. 0-2 the count to Brown. Pierre's at second. Dominic has the RBI tonight. A ball off the glove of Descalso, the second baseman, his first time up. 1 for 2 in the game. Off the end of the bat. Furcal and Holiday are out there, and it's Holiday who gives way to Furcal for the final out. The shortstop made the catch, and that was nearly a nasty collision. Phillies leave one in scoring position. Now to the 7th inning we go. Game still tied at 1.
next social or corporate event here at Citizens Bank Park. The ballpark has a variety of places, including the Hall of Fame Club, the Diamond Club, that you can utilize. Call 215-218-5100 or log on to Phillies.com/special events for more information. It's a 1-1 game, a heck of a pitcher's duel as we go to the top of the 7th. Beltran, Freese, and Molina to lead it off for the Cardinals. And John Kruk has joined us up here in the booth. Johnny, welcome to TV.
It's good to be on. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Wednesday.
Carlos Beltran will lead it off. He's 1 for 2. He homered his first time up, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. All right, what do you think about Doc tonight?
Good. It's nice to see. It's been a struggle. You know, it kills him too. As hard as he works, as much as he prepares, and not to be able to throw the way he would like to throw, it has to be really difficult. That's a pretty good one there.
Yep, right in on the hands of Beltran. Utley's out at shallow right. And 1 away. Well, this is always a great night. I mean, you were part of it last year, being put into the Phillies Wall of Fame. Tonight it's Mike Lieberthal. Do you try to get back for this event
as
much as you can?
Well, Debbie Nacito makes it mandatory. I mean, you know, the last person I want mad at me is her. So, yeah, but it's great. And, you know, I've gotten to know Lieby. You know, I played with him briefly. I've gotten to know him the last 3 or 4 years here more now, and we communicate a lot, you know, away from here. So it's nice. And most of our conversations center around golf because he drives me nuts.
He's good, isn't he?
Well, he's good, but he drives you nuts.
Oh.
It's the overanalyzation of a swing. It's a wonder he ever got a hit in his life.
Well, it's 0-2 to David
Can't
Freese.
think that much, Wheels.
You never did.
I didn't. I wasn't capable.
Remember that spring training you didn't get a hit?
Oh, my
You
God.
could care less.
Vuk was killing me. How can we play you?
Oh, for the spring.
How can you play opening day? You haven't got a hit all spring.
That was funny. You were one of those. You were in one of those things like I could care less. I don't want to leave him down here.
You know, it's funny. In '93, we started the season in Houston.
Yep.
And you know, Fergosi called me in, and he said, you know, on the off day before opening day, and he said, I can't play you. I said, what do you mean you can't play me? He goes, you haven't gotten a hit all spring. He goes, how can I play you? He goes, and I think Greg Swindell was pitching. So he said, you know, left. He goes, I got to put Ricky in there. I said, just let me go. I get 3. He looked at me and goes, 3? He said, there. And I don't know. I think I got 2 or 3 hits that night, and then I got a couple the next night. And he goes, how do you do that? I said, because you got to remember one thing. You have to care to do well. And I didn't care about spring training. I said, you guys got all these strength people now. You got to do all that running. I said, I was more focused on my conditioning than I was the actual baseball part of this mess.
Well, there's 2 outs now for Yadier Molina. There's a pitch down low. It seems like every year Vuk's name gets brought up in these speeches. Like tonight, Libri brought up Vuk's name and brought up HK's name, too.
Well, they meant a lot, not only to the organization, but to us. And, you know, especially Vuk. I mean, you know, Wheels, you know, the love-hate relationship that players had with Vuk. I mean, it was, you know, and I always say this, when you played here, when he was coaching, you didn't know how he felt about you. You had an idea, but you didn't really know. It's when you leave here, when you understand that he cared, he loved you, you know, and it was a great thing.
That's a heck of a play by Kevin Franzen. 5-3 on the putout. That was a sparkler over there at third base, and Halladay retires the side in order again. 9 consecutive hitters set down in a row for Roy Halladay. Kevin Franzen made a couple of these plays the last few nights for the Phils. That one was a dandy play. Doc loved it. Time to stretch here in Philadelphia.
answer. All right, Wheels. Johnny, here we go. Name the 3 catchers enshrined in the Phillies Wall of Fame.
That's an easy one tonight. Let's go with Mike Lieberthal.
That would be number 1. Yeah, that would be number 1.
Thanks. Take the easy one.
How about your running mate?
Dutch, that's right.
Yeah, Darren Dalton is the other. Now there's one more.
And the guy who introduced
Robert Raymond Boone.
Yeah,
that's right. Bob Boone is correct.
I got to go to the golf course with him today. He drove with me. It was
Booney.
Yeah, he's great. You know, I that era. Love hanging out with those guys. You know, Bo and Vuk and Bo and Bull and Schmitty and of course lefties. Always entertaining.
You know, it's funny you should mention that. When he walked out there tonight with his sunglasses, I looked at Tom and I said, "There's no telling right now what can happen."
No.
He's entertaining.
Yeah,
That's a great
he's
way
real
to
entertaining.
Sherholt sends it to the air to center field. John Jay has a beat on it, and he reels it in.
I tell you, the most entertaining thing of the night was watching Pat Burrell with Levy's son. That was. I mean,
did laugh at that.
That's about as comfortable with me at a buffet with my mouth wired shut. I mean, you know, it just wasn't a good thing.
You had to come to the rescue.
Well, he kept telling me, he goes, "My arms are getting tired, Crookie. My arms are getting tired."
There we go.
He goes, I can't hold him no more. I'm like, give him to me. The problem I had was the poor kid. He put his head on my shoulder. I was sweating so bad I was afraid he was going to drown.
Here's Eric Kratz, and Kratz lifts it foul and out of play.
You certainly look like someone more accustomed to holding children.
Yeah, well, I've done it a few times, but you know, with my political career and all. But
oh yeah,
it was like, it looked like he was holding a plaque up, like he was on the kid was on display. I'm like, you know, you're allowed to cradle. You know, cradle's a good thing. They grew up in a cradle the kid. How do you do that? Take him.
That was funny.
It was.
0-1 the count to Eric Kratz. 0 for 2 in this ball game, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. All right, let's talk a little baseball here. What are your thoughts, particularly in the Central, with the Cardinals in 3rd place right now, the Pirates battling the Reds? What do you think?
I like the Reds. They're pitching so good right now, and you know, they added Broxton in the bullpen to go with Chapman and you know, Marshall. You know, so now they got, you know, the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning pretty much sewed up, and the starting rotation's good. Cueto's been great. Latos pitched great the other night. And their offense, they get Votto back. Oh my gosh!
Well, that's the thing. They've been able to hold form without Votto.
Actually played great.
How would you
without
like
him.
to hit off that left-hander in the 9th inning?
No.
Really?
Oh, I'd probably rather face him than Marshall. Marshall throws that big hook. I'd have been done there. If he'd have thrown me 3 sliders, I'd have been done. I remember facing Arthur Rhodes in spring training. I never saw him in my life. And Ruben, I said, Ruben, what's he throw? He said, gas, just gas, gas, gas. Don't worry about nothing else. Threw me 3 sliders. I'm like, the heck is that? How did he get the book on me and I didn't get it?
You know, they still one of the great moments in baseball. And you still have to laugh when you see it, as you having that AB off Randy.
Yeah, they just showed it the other day.
Why would they do that?
It's an all-time.
Rain delay?
No, it was before the game. There was some kind of feature that Major League Baseball was doing.
It's funny because he just got inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame, and they asked me to do a video. I don't know him. I met him once in my life, and it was 10 years after I retired, and you know, so I made up like you know, act like I was upset with him. I could have cared less, to be honest with you.
Kevin Franzen fouls
he
it
is
away.
scary, though.
You just want to get out of there that night, didn't you?
It wasn't in a bat I was looking forward to. No. And I've had some. Nolan sometimes, like I played in a doubleheader, you know, before they had the split in San Diego, you know, at 5 o'clock, and you know, usually you think, you know, the guy who's supposed to be the starting pitcher he pitches the second game. He pitched the first game. You know, Garvey drops the, hey, Crookie, go get some at-bats. I'm like, yeah, who's pitching? Nolan.
Oh, in the shadows.
In the shadows.
Oh, my. Did you guess right?
I didn't make contact. It was awful.
Well, here comes Doc. What are you looking forward to most? I mean, I know this is the first night. What are you looking forward to most this weekend?
You know, it's just good seeing everyone. And I like the golf, too. But, you know, it's nice to see, you know, Todd Pratt's here. I haven't seen Pratty since I quit playing. And Pratty's here. Stock, always great to see Stock. Well, my gosh, that guy's he doesn't age, and and he's nicer every year.
I saw him at the bowling event last night. He doesn't age.
He doesn't, and it's sickening.
I really thought you'd say you wanted to be here and be around Bo again.
Well, let's not push that one, Will. No. You know how I feel about Bo. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I'd have been done after a year or two in San Diego. you know, he basically let me play, and you know, actually let me play when he was told not to play me, not to start me, and so I owe him a lot.
He got you here.
He got me here, but he just taught me so much. There was so much about baseball I didn't know when I got to the big leagues, and he taught me, you know, a lot of situational, made me think of the game instead of just going out and reacting to it, and it helped so much later on. As you get older, you realize the little things he teaches you, you know, taken advantage of. It works more as you get older because your instincts, and not your instincts, but your reflexes get a little slower, and so especially cheating on pitchers, he helped me a lot with that.
Well, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Phillies pitcher, Roy
Quick
Halladay.
innings. What are we doing?
They are very fast. You got guys throwing strikes.
Oh, they're allowed?
Every once in a while.
These two guys will throw it over.
Tell you what, Kyle Loesch has been one of the best pitchers in baseball this year.
On the outside corner. Well, that is a pitcher's pitch right there to wrap up the 7th inning. John, it's always great seeing you, buddy.
Thank you, T-Mac.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
John
Listen
Kruk,
to you all the time.
Part of the festivities this weekend. It's Hall of Fame weekend. There's the young guy. Stop.
Can still play.
Doesn't age. Pulling the curtain on Mike Lieberthal's plaque out of the Toyota Wall of Fame. That get 30+ MPG. Go further. Visit your Quality Plus Ford store today. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. And by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Top of the 8th inning. Cardinals and Phils even at 1. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7 wheels. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Well, Doc is set to begin the 8th inning.
Tonight, he's done so many things well tonight, just like Loesch has. You figure this would be a heck of a game. But his curveball tonight's been unbelievable. I don't know any game that since he's been here that he uses curveball this effectively.
Well, he's at 89 pitches, and he certainly has used his curveball more than his cutter, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely. I don't remember a game that he's pitched since he's been with the Phillies where he uses curveball like this. It's like he found it early and they decided to stay with it.
Descalso's 0 for 2. And there it is right there. It's 0-1.
The other thing, you talked about what a good hitting team this is. They're a fastball hitting team like all good hitting teams, and you might figure this might really get them off balance.
Change up. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Phillies do have bullpen action behind Doc, who's allowed just the 1 earned run in his last 17 innings, the home run to Beltran. He came in with a scoreless streak of 10 consecutive innings. That's a 1-hopper at Upland.
They have not hit many balls hard off him tonight, just the way the Phillies haven't hit many off Loesch. Now that ball's on the nose. He's at the bottom of the order, so they want to get him through this inning. But that's one thing managers, pitching coaches look for. Especially for a guy coming back like him, if all of a sudden they start to hit it harder or deeper.
Well, Loesch just went back down the stairs in the dugout. And Carpenter's come up to possibly pinch hit for the Cardinals. So Loesch is at 101 pitches, and he may be done for the night. Rafael Furcal is 0 for 2. Breaking ball, 0-1. To the count. He's back with a fastball at 88 miles per hour.
No, that's his cutter. Yeah. And he's used a sinker tonight again too. Some right-handed batters are running in a little bit, get him off the plate, then breaking ball away. That's a shot of Kyle Loesch. What a job he is doing for them.
Doc just a little better. He's only allowed 2 hits tonight.
Yeah, he threw cutter to a hot home run hitter, a hot hitter period in Beltran. And he hit it out of the ballpark, and that's been it, really. They have made a lot of weak outs against him.
Yeah, the only base runners they've had since the 3rd are a hit batter and a fielder's choice. And a call, strike 3. That is some heat right there. 7 strikeouts for Doc. And he's retired now 11 in a row.
You see him bend his knees right there. There's Beltran. You saw Furcal just bend his knees and take that pitch like, what am I going to do with that with 2 strikes? Said it's a changeup. See that split grip right there? That's a strike. Just dove right out, dove down into the zone and fooled him.
2 outs. Matt Carpenter will pitch it. Carpenter's hitting .303 on the year, and he takes a curve for a strike.
There's a lot of RBIs as a pinch hitter. This guy got hurt just before we went into St. Louis this year, so we didn't see him. They really like him.
8 pinch hit RBIs so far this year. 6 for 21 off the bench.
She's never seen this guy in person.
Oh-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got it with a curveball. Doc is dialed in tonight. 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals. He has 8 strikeouts and he's retired 12 consecutive hitters. He's been dazzling with everything he's thrown tonight. 1 run in his last 18 innings of work. Let's see if the Phils can get some runs for him. Defensive play of the game. Wills, this was a pretty good one right here.
We said they didn't hit a whole lot of balls hard off Roy Halladay tonight. That was one they did. Nice play by Kevin Franson. It was a breaking ball, curveball looked like. Full extension to his left, hopped up, threw him out. Our Liberty Mutual defensive play.
Responsibility, what's your policy? Barrett Browning is the new pitcher for the Cardinals. We did not see Browning earlier this year when the Phillies faced the Cardinals in St. Louis. He's a Rule 5 selection by St. Louis, but it was part of the minor league version of the Rule 5 draft. So he did not need to stay in the big leagues from start to finish this year. But he was good enough for them down in the minor leagues that they've decided to bring him up. He does not throw hard, but he does keep hitters off balance with the stuff that he does throw. Slider seems to be his out pitch, and he's in there with Rollins batting right-handed.
So he throws 86 to 88, fastball, slider, changeup. They have 3 lefties available in the bullpen.
Rollins is 0 for 3 tonight, and he lines that one to left field. He's aboard to start the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, Jimmy Rollins has his first hit of the night. Speaking of J-Roll, the ShopRite Jimmy Rollins back to school cooler bag for fans 14 and under will be given out on Sunday, August 26th. That's prior to the 1:35 game. So 2 night games and then the day game against the Nats. Get your tickets for that one and for the other 2 at Phillies.com.
Have to figure both the starters are gone now. Of course, Loesch is obviously. Pierre will be up here to bunt, trying to get Jimmy Rollins into scoring position, and Papelbon's starting to throw for the Phillies.
Rollins leads off first. The one scouting report that I read about Browning's move is that it's just an okay move for a left-hander. You can see it. This is the first time we've had a chance to see him move over to first or do anything.
Yeah, and that move was to see if Pierre was bunting, and Juan just stood there. Well, that's a balk move.
That is a balk. Good call. The first base umpire was right on the same path as you, Wheels. It's going to move Rollins into scoring position. Pierre still could be up there to bunt him over to third.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see that and they don't call it, but when a guy steps that much towards home plate and then throws to first, look. Boy, that sounds like a chicken coop out there. He walks all over the place. Hey, look where he steps.
Oh, yeah.
And that just, I mean, even from here, it looked like he had stepped a lot towards home plate. There's a, it's all arbitrary for the umpire on a play like that. But that thing seems so obvious, you almost had to call it.
Yeah, if you make any kind of move to deceive the runner by going toward the plate.
Right. And the other thing is, if you take your foot and take it back past the rubber
and then go,
that's also a balk if you don't throw home. That's what Lefty used to try to do all the time, and he perfected that. Could hang in the air and throw over to first.
Rollins leads off second. Pierre is still waiting for his first pitch, and Pierre deadens the bunt. That is a beauty. Sacrifice is successful. The go-ahead run is 90 feet away. You're not going to find many guys that are better than him at doing that.
No, they had the perfect guy up there. After they balked him over, because Pierre was going to try and bunt Jimmy over, they balk him over, and then he puts that out there, puts all that backspin on it, just kills it in front of the plate. And Jimmy Rollins walks over to third base. Look at that technique. Bat out in front of the plate. Let the bat catch the ball, basically. He's so good at that.
Now the infield is in for Utley.
Yeah, they have no choice. They have to bring it in. I think he'd go on contact here, too. We'll see.
Utley tonight is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice. He's flied out. And he takes a strike.
The reason you go on contact is because you have a left-handed hitter up with a left-handed pitcher, and then there would be 2 outs with a runner still at third base. Take a 2-out hit, left. There's Juan Pierre with that great bunt. Same thing here for Utley against Browning. They've never faced each other. Utley does pull a lot of balls here. Not only are they in, but the shortstop for Kyle's going to play him up the middle. Try and take that away, and then they'll give him that area over here.
In the air to right center field. That's going to get the run home, and it might be more. It is gone! Into the Phillies bullpen. A 2-run home run for Chase Utley that's given the Phils a 3-1 lead. How about that swing by Chase Utley?
Crushed that. Looked like a high slider. I don't know if it was a fastball or his guy doesn't throw very hard, but it looked like a breaking ball. Yeah, it's spinning. Breaking ball. Caught a lot of the plate. Ooh, did he crush that thing? Jimmy Rollins takes one look at it, and he knows he's going to go back, hit that bag, and then walk on home.
Phillies are up by 2, and Kim Gather-Cole of Coatesville, you've just won $100. Compliments of Chase Utley of the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Well, the way this game's been played tonight and pitched is like a playoff game.
Absolutely.
Really a good ball game.
By the way, that home run by Chase Utley moves him past Bobby Abreu on the all-time home run list in Phillies history. It is home run number 196 for Utley.
Howard Bosky was telling us before the game, there's Chase. We were talking about, both clubs. And he said Loesch deserves to probably win 2 or 3 more games this year. And this would be one of them. And the Phillies will go with Roy Halladay. Well, this is just nice to have him back and be Roy Halladay.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
And have a chance to give him a win here if they can get them out in the 9th inning.
Phillies their 16th game with 1 or more home run since the 20th of July. That's tied for the most in baseball with the Yankees.
Yeah, they were hitting a lot of solo homers too, and that one there, of course, a 2-run homer.
2-2 the count to Howard. Breaking ball, and Howard down looking for the second out.
That's the first home run ball given up by Browning. Here's another look at it. Look how he waits on that breaking ball. It's up, it's on the plate, that little short swing, and he can generate so much more power now with his legs. Hit it into the bullpen. That's a long one.
And for that home run, for each one hit by the Phillies this season, 1 tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees. For more information, visit Phillies.com/red goes green. Talking about that bunt by Pierre. Might even be talking about the balk. Those guys are base stealers.
Yeah, there were a lot of stuff going on in that inning. The small ball was being put into play, and then you were looking for a fly ball maybe to get the run in. And he had a fly ball, all right. The only guy who's going to catch that was Mick Billmeyer.
That was a long home run. Mick is catching Jonathan Papelbon, so he might have caught that home run.
That's what I mean. It was headed towards him.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Brown. 1 for 3. Back toward the middle. For call. Throws him out. The inning is over, but the damage certainly done. Chase Utley's 2-run home run. It's his 8th of the year. It broke an 0 for 13 stretch for Chase. And more importantly, it's given the Phils the lead as we go to the top of the 9th inning.
After the ball game, stay with Comcast Sportsnet for a complete recap and highlights. Plus, former pitcher Ricky Vitalico offers his insight on Roy Halladay's outing, which has been outstanding for the Phils. Watch Phillies postgame live, presented by Pure Auto Insurance, right here after the ball game. All right, so we've got some changes in the outfield. Dominic Brown goes from right field to left field. John Mayberry's on to play center field. He'll bat in Juan Pierre's spot. And Nate Scherholtz moves from center field over to right field. And Jonathan Papelbon will take over for Roy Halladay, who dazzled him tonight. Halladay, 8 innings, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, 2 hits. And he'll face John Jay, Alan Craig, Matt Holliday, and the Phillies have the lead thanks to Chase Utley's 2-run home run. Sounds strange to say that this is how they drew it up, but this is how they drew it up. Is that Doc would be this good as he normally was in previous years. He certainly looks healthy, and there is no question. There ain't no one thinking about shutting Roy Halladay down, particularly after what he's done these last couple of outings.
Yeah, that was just kind of tossed out there. That got shot down in a hurry.
John Jay's 1 for 3. He's singled back to the third. Papelbon trying to close the door on the Cardinals. Franzen's in on the grass at third. Howard near the line is in a little bit at first. And the first pitch on the outside corner. It's 0-1.
They're thinking about Jay maybe putting down a bunt until he gets 2 strikes on him. And they're going to guard the line at first with Ryan Howard and play Franzen up at third.
And 2 the count. Awful lot of ducking going on down there, and rightfully so.
It was a good idea.
Yep. Halladay threw 99 pitches tonight. How good were his splits? 72 strikes.
Wow.
Outstanding. Trying to improve to 6-6.
Great stuff tonight, especially his curveball.
0-2 the count and the pitch. Another foul ball late into the sweet level.
Well, he's diving out looking away, so I think their thought was let's throw something inside and push him on the plate, and he almost hit him. When you see a guy diving out there like that, sometimes a pitch will come inside and then they'll go, why'd I do that? I just hit him.
A chopper towards second. Utley is there. 1 away. 13 in a row retired now by Phillies pitching. Every time the Phillies retire, the Cardinals 1-2-3, which Doc did his last 3 innings tonight. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. Alan Craig is 0 for 3. In a season in which the Phillies have been under 500 for a good portion of it. These are the reasons why it's still fun to be here and to watch, because of efforts like Doc's tonight.
And watch Chase Utley hit that home run. I think it's some.
The ball's lined toward the alley in right center field. Mayberry can't cut it off. Craig pulls into second, and he'll be there with a 1-out double.
Now you get the time running. I was going to say, think of some of the ironies. How last year ended in the 9th inning when Chase Utley hit that ball towards dead center, and Jay was a center fielder. He drifted back. He thought it was a home run. He caught it. Talked about his legs. Well, maybe they weren't there. That was Jay watching that thing go into the bullpen tonight.
Well, Papelbon now will face Matt Holliday. 0 for 3 tonight against Roy Halladay.
Schumacher probably was a center fielder last year in that game, wasn't he? They caught the ball in the center field. I think it was Schumacher. But the center fielder, drifting back.
Puto was playing second.
Yeah, and catching that ball. And then tonight watching that thing go in center field. red and white wanted that one. Cardinals all up on the railing. Big game for them. Reds won today. So, you know, they're still, they don't want to lose a full game to first place.
Reds won. Pirates are losing after they had a 5-1 lead over the Padres.
Holiday saying the first one was better than that.
I think I agree with him on that. But Dana DeMuth has called that a strike.
He's getting it from the dugout. Is DeMuth.
One ball, one strike to count to Holiday. Papelbon has his signs. Give him a split, and it's 1-2.
They really fooled him with that. There's the split and it dives. Cardinals are so dangerous because they have this guy out, but then you have to still deal with Beltran.
They're deep in the outfield all the way around. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball toward third. A foul ball.
You see where Franson was over there near the line. They're giving up a single in the hole there, but not a double down the line that would put the tying run into scoring position.
Quick conversation between Kratz and Papelbon. One ball, two strikes, the count. He fought it off.
Yeah, they intentionally threw a high fastball there too to try and get him to chase. Maybe strike him out and he made contact.
Sounded like somebody made a really good play.
Sure did. He threw him a real good out pitch there too. And good hitters do what Holiday just did. They stay alive on that.
Kratz is running through some signs. He's set. So is Papelbon.
Tried it again. I don't know. They had a little success with that split down. Two fastballs up in his eyes. Problem is Holiday's such a good low ball hitter. If you miss down in that area too much.
The lead's up 3-1 here at the top of the ninth. 2 outs to get to win game 1 of this series. 1-2 pitch. And upstairs again. 2-2 the count.
Cardinal fan. I've seen my boys do it before.
He's fouling off some good pitches here.
That was really a good one. After all those high fastballs, down and away with 195, and he got the bat hit. He still fouled it off.
Try to capture that moment. Going to have to wait though. Kratz is going out to talk to Papelbon again. It's turned into a 14 pitch inning. A lot of pitches against Holiday here.
Great at bat. You just want to make sure they're on the right page here. Same page.
Craig leads off second. Liner to left field. Here comes Dominic Brown. 2 outs here in the 9th inning.
Looks like he got him just out in front a little bit. It looked like a fastball. I'm not sure.
No, I think it was. It's almost as if Holiday started a little too early.
Yeah. I don't know. Did he try to take something off that? Was it a lower velocity one than the other ones?
It was 92 compared to 94, 95. Yeah. Or I should say 91 compared to 94, 95. Now Beltran, who has the 1 RBI tonight. It came on a 2nd inning home run. Towering shot to right.
Yeah, stay away from him.
Beltran has hit 28 home runs. 9 have come on the first pitch this year. Fouls it away. It's 0-1.
And there he goes again. And that's a great pitch he throws to him. It's one of those ones he beats you the other way. You got to say nice going, but don't let him pull the ball here and beat you.
Got a good fastball tonight, though, doesn't he?
He has a real good fastball, real good life. So in the 1 split, you can beat him with something. If a fastball, if he'll stay away from him.
On the inside corner, 0-2. $43,122 on their feet. The start of Alumni Weekend here at the ballpark. 8 strong innings from Halladay. He struck out 8, allowed 2 hits and 1 run. Now Papelbon trying to close the door. To the count to Beltran. Well, here we go again. Everybody back all the way around. It's now 1-2 to Carlos Beltran. Just a little high. 2-2. It's the only place it could have been was high.
Yeah, it was. So here on this replay, it's high. It's an out pitch in many ways if they'll swing at it, because you could pop it up or swing and miss at it. Beltran, dead low ball hitter, left-handed. He doesn't want the ball in that zone.
Runner leads off second. Papelbon set. The 2-2 pitch. Line drive toward right field. It'll drop in front of Shearholtz. Craig is being held at third, so it'll be 1st and 3rd with 2 outs.
Oh, they kept him in the ballpark. That ball was smoked, and it had topspin. He is still unbelievably quick.
Well, he is certainly healthier this year than he has been the last couple of years.
Talk about a guy got his legs on. Look how quick he is on this. Oof. And right away it has topspin, so it's coming down. That thing has backspin. That's a long one.
So now David Freese, the hero of the World Series last year for the St. Louis Cardinals. When he hit .397 in the postseason with 5 home runs. Up with runners on 1st and 3rd here at the top of the 9th inning.
This guy's scary with his power too, because you remember a lot of those home runs he hit last year, where they went to center field.
Yeah, Mayberry shaded over toward left center.
And he's just not a guy you think about as going to pull everything, even though you have to play him to put Franson on the line.
Big hole on the left side between Rollins and Franson. Beltran has stolen 10 bases this year, being held on by Howard at first.
Beltran used to be a glider down there at first base, too. He would steal bags. Now, whether or not they would let him go here.
Won the count. Freeze is ready. So is Papelbon. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, these guys can send some serious power at you in these spots.
Well, they came into this ball game 5th in the league in home runs, 1st in runs.
And this is without Berkman.
Totally forgot about him.
Yeah, he's been hurt a lot this year.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Freeze. Beltran goes. They've got him picked. Papelbon throws it on 1 hop. He is out at second base. It wasn't pretty, but it got the job done as Jonathan Papelbon closes out the Cardinals here in the 9th inning as the Phillies take game 1 of this 3-game series. An energetic crowd on an energetic night with an energetic Roy Halladay. 8 strong innings to improve to 6-6. And it was Chase Utley's 2-run home run that turned out to be the difference in tonight's game.
Look what happens here. Beltran breaks, and he's doing the old third to first, and it works.
Great play by Rollins to dig this one out of the dirt.
And then he kind of gooses it to second. He doesn't get anything on it. Throws a ball, a 1-hopper. Jimmy digs it out and tags Beltran coming in. The old third to first, it never works, does it? How about that? It worked.
Maybe the final time you see that work for the Phillies this year. It may be the final time ever, because it'll be a balk next year when a pitcher does that. But tonight, it helped Papelbon earn the save, and the Phils win it 3-1. What an impressive night all the way around. Our W.B. Mason delivery of the ball game, well, it was Chase Utley's, what turns out to be Chase Utley's game-winning 2-run home run.
Yeah, well, Barrett Browning, you've never seen him before. He's looking for a fly ball here. He has runner at third base, Jimmy Rollins, and 1 out. He got a fly ball, all right, about 420 or 30 feet into the Phillies bullpen, right over Mick, warming up Papelbon out there. And what a blast that was.
And Chase is out of the field with Greg Murphy. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, T-Mac, here with Chase Utley. Number 196 in your career turns out to be a game winner tonight. It looked like you got something up that maybe hung up there a little bit. How good did it feel at that point in the game to get that?
Well, I was just trying to get the ball in the air at that point. With guy in third, infield in, just trying to lift the ball a little bit, try to hit it deep enough to score the run. Luckily, it went out of the park, gave us a 2-run lead, but the real story has got to go to Roy tonight. Roy pitched outstanding. He kept a very good offensive team off balance all night, and Loesch pitched well for them as well. So it was overall a pretty good ball game.
You know, you get a big hit earlier in the game. Ryan Howard does as well. You mentioned Roy. You know, this is the kind of team that when you look at it out on the field, you just feel like you guys can make a run with all the talent that you guys do have. Is that what you guys are thinking? Obviously, the numbers are what they are, but this team is far from out of it.
Yeah, we're treating every game the same. Going out there to try to put a game plan together and try to win. You know, we can't change what's happened in the past. We can just build on the future, and our goal is to win as many games from here on out as we can.
I mentioned number 196 in your career. You passed Bobby Abreu tonight, and just 7 behind the great Dick Allen, who's here for Alumni Weekend. I know it's hard to put that kind of thing in perspective, but as you creep towards 200, have you given that kind of thing any thought whatsoever?
I really haven't given it much thought. I guess it says I've been here for a while, which is a good thing.
It is a good thing. Chase, thanks for your time, man. Congratulations. Good win for the Phils. Send it back upstairs.
All right, Murph, we appreciate it. 3-1 the final score. Jonathan Papelbon, I don't know if he's ever gotten a save in that sort of way, but he'll take it. Phils win it 3-1. We'll be back right after this.